Here's how we make you as famous as possible, step by step, and what that actually means practically for you. I know that might sound a little bit odd, a little bit weird. Let me explain, and it'll make a lot of sense shortly. To put it simply, the more people that know who you are in business and in life, like if you're just a real estate agent, you're a personal brand, the more people that know you on a business level, on a personal level, the better you're going to do in real estate. It's common sense, guys. I mean, real estate is a relationships business. So the more high quality relationships that you have, the better you're going to do. That's just a fact. I mean, it's just hard to argue against that. If you have 5 minutes, I'll walk you through how this could possibly help. Even if you don't work with us, even if you don't use our services, guys, this makes sense. And this is going to really transform your business if you take it seriously and you look at it from a different angle. Because if you want to go somewhere you've never been, production wise, if you want to reach 50 deals a year, 60 deals a year and above, and you really want to tap into your full potential, you have to look at things from a different angle and kind of take the leap of just trying out new things, right? If you want to go somewhere you've never been, you have to try things you've never done. So that being said, if you want to reach your full potential and reach 50 deals a year, 60, 70, whatever your personal goal is, for everybody, it's going to be different. What is the biggest lever that you can possibly pull in 2025, 2026? Okay, not 2005, not 1999. In today's market with AI, with oversaturation in the marketplace, with all these things happening, what can you possibly do? The best thing you could do is to become as famous as possible in your local market. What does that mean? Having a personal brand, having a social media presence that differentiates you from the competition. What are you currently doing to differentiate yourself from every other agent in your city or town? Because you need to have a really good answer to that nowadays. Because you're competing with agents that have 3,000 reviews on Zillow. There's teams spending $10,000 a month on advertising alone. There's people with 30, 40 years of experience. So how are you competing with those individuals? And how can you take up enough of your own market share to do so? So we believe it comes down to the biggest lever you can pull is becoming very, very, very well known. Okay. So we believe you don't have a lead problem. Okay. So you don't have a lead problem. You have a marketing and exposure problem. The reason most agents don't succeed, and it's like 87% fail, or even up to 93%, is not because they're not smart or they're not good people. It's because they don't have enough leads. The reason they don't have enough leads is because they focus on the wrong things. If you have a lead problem, it's not a lead problem. You have to look at cause and effect. The cause of why you don't have enough leads is because of marketing. It's because of exposure. For example, if there was a local business, let's say a local restaurant, and 200 people knew about the restaurant, and would it do well? Would the restaurant do well if only 200 people knew about it? Probably not. But if 20,000 people know the restaurant exists and they know about it, it's much more likely to do well in the long run. So that restaurant analogy, that's you, right? The more people that know you, it's just common sense. The better you're going to do. So guys, hopefully that makes sense. I have another video walking through all the thesis behind that. But in this video, I just want to walk you through okay, how can we actually do that step by step? So let's say you agree. How do we, and last thing I'll say, if we want to reach top 1% production, we need top 1% marketing and exposure. Customer service is huge in this business. You want to make sure your clients are getting the best business possible. But in order to actually get the clients, you need to have top 1% marketing and exposure. You have to outmarket every other agent. Because if not, they'll go to somebody else. Okay, so step one is we have to create a transformational social media presence. That way we can get 2,000 local impressions weekly, meaning 2,000 people in your local area are constantly seeing your brand, constantly seeing your face, and they're being reminded of you all the time. Now, why do we want to do this on social media? A lot of you guys probably hate social media. You probably have all the wrong impressions of it. You probably think you need to become a TikTok star or do cringy dances online or make weird vlogs that you don't really want to do. And that's why you haven't done it. Nothing can be further from the truth. You don't need to do that. You're not an influencer. You're not a TikTok star. You're a real estate agent. We need to make sure we create content that's easy to create, easy to produce, goes viral, and you can actually get business from it, which is why you're doing this in the first place. Okay, so when we create a transformational social media presence, look at what other agents in the marketplace are doing. They're creating Canva posts that get 3 likes. They have these weird collages that nobody pays attention to. They have these, they just spam these posts that everybody ignores. nobody likes. They give out information and tips that are very generic, not helpful. We don't want to do that. Guys, we want to take the minimum amount of effort to get the maximum return. You don't want to be a full-time social media star, but you do need to use it to attract people. So we do have to go viral in our market, meaning we're getting lots of shares, lots of likes, and most importantly, lots of new people coming to us, because your social media, it's like your digital business card. It's your online pipeline. Right now, you guys have pipelines offline, but you need something online, and it actually has to work much better than it is right now. Now, when I say this, sometimes people don't really understand what I mean. Your current social media presence, if you want to 4x your business, you have to go leaps and bounds, right? I'm not saying you improve it by 10 or 20%. No, you have to improve it by leaps and bounds of what it is right now. So imagine you were closing like 60, 70 deals a year. How would they run their social media profile? How many followers would they have? And you have to start doing that today if you want to get there. So what does this mean? It means optimization, making sure it looks as professional as possible, not to your friends, not to your family, but to a complete stranger, someone that doesn't know you, doesn't like you, doesn't trust you. It has to work with cold audiences, okay? The second is viral strategies. And this is the hardest part. Okay, you have a cool looking social media. What makes people actually attracted to your social media? Understanding the art and the science behind that, and how you can get it to work, how you can actually leverage the algorithm to feed you business and give you a pipeline of people looking to buy and sell. How does that actually work? And of course, management and consistent growth. It's not just about making one post or one DM or anything like that. It's about managing it consistently in 30 minutes a day or less. Because if you do this properly, it's an asset. Like, guys, if you have 20,000 followers online or up to 50,000 followers online, that's reasonable within 12 months to get there for most people in most marketplaces, unless you live like on, in a remote island in the Pacific Ocean or something, right? You can get to 20,000 followers in 12 months, even if you suck at social media, if you do the right things. Compare that to your competitors, your competition. It's going to be night and day, right? So guys, step 2 is relationship building and SOI, okay? It's not enough to just get likes and views and clicks. It's not enough. You actually have to turn them into people in your sphere of influence, right? Meaning, if they were to buy and sell today, would they go with you? Would you be the number 1 or number 2 person in their mind? You have to get on that list. So if you ask yourself, honestly, no BS, how many people see you as the number 1, number 2 agent in their mind? That's what you need to do. Okay. You need to get on that list. We do that through relationship building. I just want to say, guys, like, if you're shopping on Amazon, are you going to page 156? No. You're looking at maybe the first product or the second product, right? And most reviews, like, you're looking at 1 to 3 products, maybe on Amazon. When it comes to an agent, it's like 1 to 2. Okay. You're not going to be agent number 57 on Zillow and get away with it. It's just not going to work like that. Not if you want to really achieve your full potential. So, guys, obviously, the more high quality relationships we have, the better. And that's also why cold leads doesn't work. And I want to talk about that briefly in this video. If you haven't had success with cold leads like PPC, Zillow, or anything like that, I actually had an agent tell me the other day that they didn't even like the way that Zillow generated leads. It was like low integrity in their mind because, like on the Zillow website, it says book with speak to the listing agent or words that are like, that would make you think in that frame, and then it connects you with a completely other agent that has nothing to do with the listing. It's low trust. People don't like it very much. But the reason cold leads don't work is because they're complete strangers. They have no idea who you are. You're just calling a random number who has no idea who you are, and it's difficult. That's not to say it doesn't work. It does work, but it's very difficult because there's no trust there. Now compare that to actual relationship building. If we have a list of people in your local market of 5,000 people, 10,000 people who all know you, they all know you do real estate, they've all had conversations with you, they all like you, they all trust you, they all respect you. There you go. That's your whole pipeline for the rest of your career. What's 1% of 5,000? It's 50. Okay, 50 transactions. So most people would be pretty happy with that. So most people do it backwards. They have this cold list that they work themselves to infinity, and they never develop this, which is the most important thing, your SOI. These people are what fuel your business, right? Your network. How can you get your network to 5,000 to 10,000 people where you're locally famous, right? Because if you become as famous as possible, then your business is going to be so much easier to reach that high production numbers and actually get more profitable. That way you don't have to run ads. That way you don't have to rely on 25, 35% referral fees for the rest of your career. Okay. You don't want to do that because it's going to sink into your profit margin. Let's be honest. Okay. So what we need is a system to turn strangers into people who know, like, and trust us at scale. Now, yes, you can go to events and parties and stuff like that. You can do that. The difference is, like, it's just not at scale. They used to work in the 80s and the 90s. Guys, let's be honest. In 5 years and 10 years, do you think social media, branding, and all these things are going to be more important or less important? They're going to be more important. Okay. So if you can do this in a scalable way where you don't even have to leave your house, you don't even have to talk to people, and you can actually get a ton of traffic and talk to them online and then on the phone and then obviously in person, it's going to be much, much better. And guys, lastly, we need prospecting systems. Okay. Because again, it's not just about doing cute stuff online and not talking to anyone. You need to actually build real relationships and have real conversations. And we'll show you how to do that in a way that's not salesy. Again, you don't want to be like everybody else pushing your service down people's throats. People don't like that. You don't want to be the used car salesman. Obviously neither do we, but you need to speak to them in a way that can potentially help somebody, and just have a conversation with people, right? Like when they connect with you online, message them, reach out to them, having normal conversation without having to have this ulterior motive of trying to sell all the time. Okay. So how can we make it so that you're speaking to 40 to 50 people a day? I don't know how many people you're prospecting right now, but common sense says the more people you prospect, the better you're going to do. So the only difference is we need to prospect in a way that actually compounds. For example, if you cold call, you're never going to speak to that person again unless they say yes. If you door knock and they say no, you're never going to see them again, realistically, right? Unless you live in a town with like 15 people, which I'm assuming it isn't most of you guys. But jokes aside, those 40, 50 people, they're not going away. So if you take your social media following, like your Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever you guys use, you never really lose followers on those platforms unless you do something crazy. You always gain followers. So the good thing about prospecting in this method is those people aren't going anywhere. They're going to compound upon itself, and it's only going to go in one direction, as opposed to cold calling or PPC, where you speak to them one time and you never speak to them again. And guys, after the course of weeks, months, and years, it's just like there's nothing to show for it. You know what I mean? Aside from the 1% that said yes and the 99% that said no. What we need is a system when 99% are warmed up so that when they are ready to buy or sell, they're ready to use you. And again, like, think about network effects, right? Let's say you have 5,000 people in your SOI. They all know you. They've all had conversations with you. They all like you. They all trust you. Every person knows 5 other people, knows 10 other people. So if you have 5,000 people times 5, it's really 25,000 or more, 30,000, 40,000 people. Like, it quickly can spiral because everybody's connected to somebody else, right? That's how your reputation could spread like wildfire. That's how we can become as famous as possible in our market. And then obviously, guys, we need to track these things. Track how many people we get every day on our profile, how many messages we send, how much prospecting we're doing every day, communications, KPIs. And then lastly, we can use ads to actually become really well known in a 5 to 10 mile radius. So if you do an ad in your city of your face and you blast it, again, super cheap, doesn't have to be expensive. And it's not even required. This is actually optional. But as you know, to reinvest in your business, once you get a couple closings, if you have a 5 to 10 mile radius, again, this really depends on where you're at. Obviously in a bigger city, you might need to do it in a smaller radius, etc. But again, in a normal, highly dense place, 5 to 10 mile radius will work just fine. And really blow yourself up. Now, guys, I want to go into more of the step-by-step of how we actually do that. So, like I said, in order to reach a production you've never done, you have to do things that you've never done before and look at it from a different lens, okay? So what we do, guys, is we have a virtual office. So we use Slack. We have a full Slack team that walks you through this step-by-step. So if we have the goal of getting you to 20,000 followers in 12 months, again, it's not a magic pill. Guys, we don't have a magic list of leads. We want to make sure you actually can increase, like, double, triple your revenue and have a big transformation, not just get like an extra client here or there. Okay. We want to make sure we have a big transformation. Okay. In order to do that, we have like a virtual office, right? We have a full-time team of editors, trainers, coaches, and folks actually working with you one-on-one, step by step, holding your hand every step of the way. giving you templates, ideas, pretty much everything you would ever need, feedback, looking at your profiles every other day, profile reviews, one-on-one support, no guesswork, just results. And guys, before we end the video, I do want to talk about some of the old ways of generating leads. Again, these work. We're not saying they don't work. We're just comparing them to what we're doing here. And the main thing is, guys, like, they're strangers. These are cold prospects. With what we do, we are prospecting some people randomly cold, but we know for a fact there are people in our area, and it's going to compound. Meaning, if you add someone on Facebook today that lives in your same area, your same town, well, they're going to be there for the next 3 years. So you can actually prospect them today, but you leave the door open for the future, and you create these systems where they know, like, and trust you en masse, and you're actually able to get leads for the next 5-10 years instead of just a one-off, right? So again, events, works, things like Zillow, obviously expensive. You have to pay for leads up front. You don't even know if it's going to work. Guys, the main thing is they're strangers. They don't know you. If you actually take the time to build these relationships, not only can it be potentially more ethical and easier, it's also more long-term, and it's a better strategy. It makes more sense. And it just differentiates you so much from the competition. So guys, that's pretty much the video. That's what I wanted to share with you today. Look, in regards to us potentially helping you with this, look, at this stage, I don't know if we can even help you. We might not be able to help you. We can't help everybody, and it's also not for everybody. So it actually might not be for you, and that's okay. My goal with this video was just to get you to see things at a different angle, okay? So what I'd like to do is, if you haven't spoken to our team, go ahead and do so. What we can do is just have a conversation. We're not here to shove this down your throat and make it a good fit if it's really not. What we just want to do is give you the option and help you make the best decision that you can make, okay? All we got to do is show you all we want to do, is give you an option. That way you can take it in the future potentially, maybe now, maybe later. Either way, what we'll do on our team is create a step-by-step plan for you of how you can actually implement this. Because as you can see, there's a lot of steps. If we're able to talk to you one-on-one and actually give you custom advice based on your situation, based on your city or location, it might make a lot more sense. So guys, if you haven't already, go ahead and speak with our team. We look forward to talking to you soon to see if we can help you, maybe, and we look forward to it, guys. Thank you so much.